This is Eswatini TV News at 10. I'm Nathile Sitole alongside Stelo Gunene. First, here's a look at our headlining stories. The stage is set for His Majesty King Mswati III to open the second session of the 12th Parliament on Friday. Deputy Prime Minister Senator Thuli Dladla says the World Bank has promised to support Eswatini with $100 million through the Eswatini Accelerating Sustainable and Clean Energy Access Transformation Project. The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senator Chifundla Hlaza, has begun handing contracts for the construction of damaged bridges and roads. And now the news in detail. The stage is set for His Majesty King Mswati III to open the second session of the 12th Parliament on Friday. The Prime Minister Russell Mmiso Dlamini was in Parliament to participate in the last rehearsal, where he was briefed on progress that has been made towards the success of the event.
His Majesty King Mswati III will inaugurate the second session of the 12th Parliament on Friday here in Parliament at Lobamba. The clock is ticking and only one day remains before the King sets out the government's agenda for the next parliamentary sessions. Stakeholders who have been given responsibilities to ensure the success of the event met for the last time to reflect on two key questions. Is Parliament ready to receive their Majesties? And is Parliament ready to once again deliver a state-of-the-art event?
Well, the response to that is an emphatic yes. Senate President Pastor Lindiwe Dlamini and the Speaker in the House of Assembly, Jabulani Mabuza, and all stakeholders briefed His Excellency the Prime Minister on progress that has been made to ensure the success of the state event on Friday. The Prime Minister was impressed. His Excellency emphasized the importance of respect as the event will be graced by their Majesties.
Iyagcizelela bekunene ukuthi usuku lolukhulu eveni inkosi uLuqobo indlovukazi uLuqobo itaba semkhathini wethu ngaleso sizathu sicela lokuthi vele sitiphathe kahle kakhulu utiphatha kahle kwethu sekugcizelelwe ngabo baphathi beParliament kepha ke lengakungeta nje ukuthi sifike ngesikhathi singabe sesifike emva kwabantu abadala isikhathi lesibekiwe sisihloniphe kungasidinga ukuthi sesiyaphusha ukuthi singene ngoba iminyango seyivaliwe nekokuthi sihloniphe timiso lesetibekiwe ukuthi sitahamba ngato la.
Clerk to Parliament Benedict Kaba says latecomers will be turned back after 10 a.m. He also pleaded with guests to dress appropriately.
Sikhathi kuthi makuthi 10 wonke umuntu abasahleli phasi so lo tawube asuka ekhaya noma asendleleni nga10 singakhuthatha ukuthi asalajika abuyele emuva noma uphethe ikhadi leli red eminyango nje chamber sidabe sesivalile vele ngalabo 10 etindzabeni tekugcoka ngingacela kuvunula ukuthi sikhuthatha yona imvunulo ukuthi asibe ngemaswati njalo sidabe nje kusakatwa live sihamba kubo YouTube wonke umhlaba vele wota unothile uvunule kahle mawujaha libuthekile ubonakala ukuthi awunanga umbutho utile kanjalo lokunye lengakukhuthatha ke ukuthi mashothi ungene kuleti teslu sicela ungene uphelele Spanish siyathi ke ukuthi emakhala lesiwakhuthathako ukuthi manje emcimbeni kakhuluma invoice siyasikhuthathe ukuthi ugqoke black ugqoke navy bo dark gray lawo makhalas la kanjalo ungasiqhamukeli na pink.
Now, only those with invitation cards will be allowed into Parliament on Friday. But provision has been made for the nation and the global community to follow proceedings via a live broadcast that will be rolled out by Eswatini TV and Eswatini Broadcasting Information Services. This is a report by Sandile Makanya and Zweli Masuku in Parliament.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thuli Dladla, says the World Bank has promised to support Eswatini with $100 million through the Eswatini Accelerating Sustainable Clean Energy Access Transformation Project. The Deputy Prime Minister made these remarks when presenting a comprehensive report on the kingdom's participation at the Africa Heads of State Energy Summit held in Tanzania.
Besithunywe ngamakhosi ukuthi siwamelela emhlanganweni umhlangano lomkhulu i-summit ye-energy le bitwa ukuthi i-Mission 300 initiative. Umhlaba wonke uphelele jikelele 680 million webantu kusesemnyama. E-Africa ke sin 600 million. Sihambe embili si-Afrika. Basenda lapha bahole ama-commitment kukhombise ukuthi emavele amanyenti aphasi kakhulu labanye bakubo 20% lase-Morocco nje lesikhanze kusele ku-90 thine ke sesijute ke vele minister wakhona waka-energy nguye lo uvule lenye ipanel ngekuteka nje ukuthi bona bendani bakuphi nyalo thine ke silivela kangwane nga 2003 besiku 5%. 2023 zaba ku 82. Namhla lo sikhuluma ema projection athi siku 88. Lokhu sesivute kutholana ne Morocco. So lamave ke baka commita ngale declaration yekuthi singemave ase Africa siyavuma siyatikhomita wekuthi utazokushaya 2030 njengaloku sati le SDG ya 2030 ukuthi i-energy bese ifike kubo bonke abantu batho khona phela ukuthi nabo baphile kangcono bacala imisebenzi bacala emabhizinisi lapha nalapha lokumnanzi ngathi thina sibakangwana i-World Bank isithembise ukuthi kuleli dlanzana lelinyenti kakhulu le emakhaya liphindze futhi nalendlela ukufika lemakhaya ikhashane ukhanza ukuthi kusethentsabeni akufikeki malula ithi World Bank itasinika 100 million US. Stokhona isangasho itasinika but isipromisile stokhona ukuthi sikhicite emaswati onke afikele kugezi lawo lane constraint when uma kuthiwa etimalini bona ke ngilama ready boards nakhona lapho World Bank utasilekelela ahlangene naye uhulumende wemaswati ngoba kasaleli ngemuva.
The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senator Chief Ndlahlaza, has begun handing over contracts to construct damaged bridges and roads. The minister stated that the ministry will continue to assess and repair low bridges.
Following the flash floods that the country experienced in the past weeks, the Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senator Chief Ndlahlaza, visited 3 Tinkondla centers to officially hand over contracts to contractors for the repair of damaged roads. The minister says that after Mhlangatane, he would move to Lugongolweni and conclude at Tlokothweni Inkundla to hand over contracts for the construction of bridges.
Sifika ke namuhla silethe icontract lekungilibhilidi developers lelengilona litawulungisa lelibloho libe sesimeni lesikahle. Kusebenta kwayo ke icontract itawuphinze iyogravelela umgwaqo uyophumela esikondeleni ngala iphinze iyophumela esikondeleni nangale.
The minister says after the construction of Nhlangeyavuka, pupils will benefit because there is a school.
Kuhamba kahle nabaya esikolweni nangale ngemuva kunalesinye isikolo nangakhona sibonga lokho nje ukuthi sithi sihlanganisa kube khona lesikuthola ukuthi side siwende lo msebenzi.
The Mhlangatane Member of Parliament, Honorable Madala Mhlanga, says that the bridge had been affected even during Cyclone Eloise.
Elibloho limawubheka kubotshaneni lapho khanze sincumbi yalesivesa lapha ngilasithola khona imisebenzi bosimunye.
Mhlanga says that many people rely on this bridge to travel to Janeni, Simunye and Buhleni for work. This initiative by the government of Eswatini speaks to its commitment to improving service delivery and ensuring that important infrastructure is restored for the benefit of Emaswati. The Swatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Smuva Shongwe, Mhlangatane.
Arts are not just for self-expression and entertainment, but they can create opportunities for youth to build income and progress. These were the sentiments of the Minister of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs, Honorable Bonganzima, when officiating the Eswatini Arts Summit at Simpa in Matapa.
This three-day summit is attended by creatives with various talents as well as professionals, including broadcasters, filmmakers, musicians, and event managers. Speaking when opening the summit, the Minister of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs, Honorable Bonganzima, says part of the ministry's plans is to see the development of Eswatini's creative economy.
By addressing critical topics such as the intellectual property, IP, royalties, and other pressing issues, we are taking bold steps towards empowering our artists to not only thrive but also sustain themselves economically in this ever-evolving landscape. As a ministry, we are committed to ensuring that the outcomes of this summit are not just words on the paper, but enabling actionable strategies. Your ideas, input, and recommendations will shape the ministry's agenda and strategy for the coming financial year. This is a call to action for every participant. Take ownership of this process. Your voice matters.
CEO of the Eswatini National Council of Arts and Culture, Stanley Dlamini, says through established partnerships, local artists have the opportunity to showcase their talents beyond borders.
Lo muhla nasiletha abakwaSwazi TV stotsi asebatshela umhlaba ukuthi emafilimu emaswati bangawabekaphi.
Dlamini says this summit will enable artists to network and collectively solve challenges they face in the industry to enhance their work. He says, among other things, the creatives will receive insights from experts on how to maneuver around issues of royalties for their work, branding, and online marketing and monetization. Representing Eswatini Television Authority CEO Mpumelelo Mnisi, who says as a broadcaster, they are open to collaborating with creatives.
As Eswatini TV, we are ready to welcome any productions from independent producers, and we know that whatever strategies that they are going to come up with from the summit are going to assist them to produce more local films for all the broadcasters in the country.
In the 2025 to 2029 government program of action, the government intends to establish hubs for arts and culture to ensure that individuals in this field can eventually earn a living through their talents. Reporting, I am Nantile Sithole with Mbonga Dube, Matapa.
The Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Princess Lindiwe, says promoting education has the potential to eliminate myths and combat discrimination against HIV-positive individuals. The minister made these remarks during the Eswatini Church Forum on HIV and AIDS commemoration.
The Eswatini Church Forum on HIV and AIDS commemoration has pointed out the significant role of education in eliminating myths around people living with HIV within the interfaith. The representative of the Minister of Home Affairs, Nompumelelo Dlamini, says that raising awareness and providing accurate information could help reduce stigma and empower communities to offer support to those affected by the virus.
Discrimination, whether explicit or subtle, can discourage individuals from seeking care and also seeking treatment and support that they need, because this fosters a stigma and silence, which in turn fuels the spread of the virus. It is therefore imperative that faith leaders and congregations take the lead in creating environments that are not only free from discrimination, but also rich in understanding and supporting those with HIV and AIDS.
The representative of the Minister of Health, Dr. Adman Shabangu, has urged for a more inclusive approach to health care.
I still want to challenge the faith sector to pay more attention to HIV prevention, with special focus on adolescent girls and young women, and men in general, paying more attention to those aged 25 to 34.
Vusi Gunene, the representative of the interfaith group, pointed out the importance of religious communities in advocating for the dignity and rights of HIV-positive people.
We are also called to model inclusivity, and we have to lead by example by creating welcoming spaces in our faith communities or places of worship for people living with HIV.
Church Forum has also put together a stigma and discrimination manual for the faith sector. Veswatini TV News on Domlangeni in Manzini.
Following an outcry from the Interstate Transport Association that the Ministry of Public Works and Transport is taking business away from them by issuing passenger lists to undeserving public transport, the Principal Secretary Thulani Mkhaliphi has responded, putting into perspective how such issues are handled by the ministry.
The chairperson of the Interstate Transport Association, Jabulo Mabuza, says they do not understand why the Ministry of Public Works and Transport is now being operational by issuing passenger lists. He says the ministry should stick to administrative duties, adding that issuing the passenger list takes business away from them.
Passenger list kulamave abomakhelwane onke lawa lesisebenza nawo acontrolwa ngama-associations. La kule live lethu, passenger list acontrolwa i-association together with RTB. Manje lokwentekako, ukhanza i-RTB seyi-issuishe passenger list kuma-local operators.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Public Works and Transport, Thulani Mkhaliphi, advised the association to use proper channels to raise grievances, further clarifying the process of issuing the passenger list.
We do process passenger list for every passenger who intends to use public transportation outside the country. If it is passengers that wish to travel in SACU countries, there is an agreement between, those countries. There was an arrangement, an administrative arrangement at some point where the government would then ask the association, to facilitate. But some of the associations abused that privilege and we withdrew it. And it is now the passenger lists are issued actually by government. And there is no intention now not to give that responsibility to associations.
The Principal Secretary urged the public industry to contact the ministry if they have grievances or if they need clarity on anything, stating that they have an open door policy promising fairness in handling of issues.
For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Langamandla, Fuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
And in a statement before me, government of Eswatini acknowledges public concerns over the U.S. aid freeze imposed by President Trump's administration. The government spokesperson, Alpheus Nxumalo, says while recognizing the devastating impact on developing nations, the government respects the United States' sovereign right to prioritize its interests. Diplomatic engagements are underway, with the Minister of Foreign Affairs set to meet the U.S. Embassy in Eswatini this week. Government assures the nation that this matter is a priority and will provide updates as discussions progress. Emaswati are urged to remain positive as the issue is addressed. After news that Cabinet has approved in principle the conversion of the Eswatini National Provident Fund to a pension fund, some members of parliament say they have been flooded with calls from citizens asking about the conversion. We spoke to Ministry of Labour and Social Security Portfolio Committee Chairperson in the House of Assembly, Sifiso Makakula, to bring clarity to this matter.
The chairperson of the Portfolio Committee says now that Cabinet has approved the conversion of the ENPF to a pension fund, it does not mean that the fund will convert overnight. He states that there are different processes that the convention has to go through, including parliament, where the members will make their submissions to.
Seyitawuthathwa ke nyalo iyongena eParliament iye emalungeni eParliament nayo ayofaka umvo wayo kuphindze khona lapho phela nesive sisatoke sitawuthola lithuba laso ukuthi likhulume lendzaba angeke nje ukuthi sekutawentiwa nje njengoba sekuvakele emaphepheni ukuthi naku seku-approvile everything no kusengekafiki lapho sisatongena eParliament iParliament nayo ikudzingithi iphindze iye ibuyele kuma-stakeholders iyo-consulta lo ngona lafanele i-consult lokuthi vele kungalunga kanjani.
He states that Emaswati will be fully consulted on the convention. The Minister for Labour and Social Security, Honorable Phela Buthelezi, and the ENPF have promised to give a comment later on this matter.
For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Fuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
And now let's have a look at our financial indicators.
Standard Bank.
Here's a look at sugar indicators by ISO. Moving on to sports, about 550 athletes have registered for this year's Epilepsy Half Marathon to be held this coming Saturday at Olympia Africa, Lobamba. Communications Officer at the Eswatini Epilepsy Organization, Mandisa Lukeli, says registration will be closed on the actual day of the marathon.
I would say preparations for the Epilepsy Marathon are well underway. It's very, very busy at this stage. As of now, we have around 550 registered runners. It's an approximation because we haven't officially closed registration, and we won't do so until directly before the marathon at 6 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. So while we're at 550 for now, we are continuing to see an increase in number of registrations. And then as for the program, the Yellow Epilepsy Church Half Marathon 2025 will take place this coming Saturday on the 1st at the IOGA office's premises at Lobamba next to the National Stadium, Somhlolo National Stadium.
National First Division side Amawele continue with their preparations for the second round of the MTN National First Division, where they kick off the round against first-round champions Malandi Chiefs. Team executive members Milos Milane and coach Mtutuz Ngumalo are confident their side will be safe from relegation. Amawele are 8th on the National First Division log with 18 points so far.
It's only fair and logical for Wutsi coming to the second round. We can collect at least, say, 15 points so that you are safe. And then I think after that, we can talk about the possibilities and the opportunities. But for now, we are targeting not to be relegated.
For now, as we start the second round, I think it is to try and get 15 points. I am sure we should be okay in terms of relegation if we get 15 points. And then we see what happens after that. Maybe try and finish on the top 4 if it's possible. But with the way that we have worked, we've tried to almost double what we did in the first round. I'm thinking that we need to collect as many points as possible to try and avoid relegation. We've tried to beef up our team, especially in the defense and in the midfield, because yes, we've scored the most goals in First Division, but the unfortunate part is we've conceded the most goals also. So it is not a good record. So we want to try and close shop at the back because it's possible to score then. If you score but you open at the back, then you have a problem. But with the kind of reinforcement that we have done, we are hoping that we will be able to defend well.
And that's all for now. Before I go, here's a reminder of our headlining stories. The stage is set for His Majesty King Mswati III to open the second session of the 12th Parliament on Friday. Deputy Prime Minister Senator Thuli Dladla says the World Bank has promised to support Eswatini with $100 million through the Eswatini Accelerating Sustainable and Clean Energy Access Transformation Project. The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senator Chief Ndlahlaza, has begun handing contracts for the construction of damaged bridges and roads. And with that, it's a wrap. Up next is the weather update from myself and the team. Thank you for your company. Take care.